About a year ago, someone I knew was arrested for online child grooming. I'm talking about this now because what I've learnt over the last year, every parent in the UK needs to know. Our government is not willing or are too worried to act on the objectives recommended by the independent inquiry, research that the government commissioned and we paid for, because statistically they all have paedophiles within their own ranks, as does any workplace, as they account to 1 to 5% of the population. This affects the government's ability to action the objectives because there could be biasing in their decisions and the cost of failure is just so high. So the true nature and scale of the problem is being suppressed. I'm not saying there's a conspiracy as such, it's just that the subject is so jarring it's difficult for anyone to engage with. You can fact check everything on the government, NSPCC, and our website for links. It's sks.fyi. That's www.sks.fyi. The fact is, the online world is changing faster than the government and the authorities are able to cope with. The following is from the 2023 Police Foundation's report, just to give you an idea of how big the problem is. Keep in mind that this is the UK Police's think tank that advises on their future policies. CSA is perpetrated in such high volume that on its own law enforcement cannot be the answer. It goes on to say in the conclusion that it's time for a shift in our approach as a society to tackling online CSA, effectively saying the problem is not only out of control, but they don't understand how to stop it and that it requires some sort of cultural change. The independent inquiry set up after Jimmy Savile's death forecast that over 1 million UK kids will be sexually abused over this decade. The mental health fallout is already unsustainable morally and financially. Most parents are just simply unaware of the sheer scale of the problem and how it can affect their children's safety and psychology. Online is where our kids play the most, and 80% of 10-year-olds now have a phone that is unsecured from strangers and has psychologically driven advertising. None of this makes sense to anyone I talk to. Because of the current political landscape, we can't rely on the government to protect our children. And as a case in point, the online bill that they created and that is now going through the House of Lords, even with all the information and research they now have, is not going to protect our children. They have no holistic plan to action the objectives that we have paid to have researched. And we know this because we've asked the Home Office through our MP Andrea Leadsom. The response we got back from Sarah Dines, the Safeguarding Minister, was generic, to be very polite. So a small number of us have made a start on designing some solutions to these problems, and the first job is to build an online platform where our kids are safe. There are security applications out there that can block ads, apps, etc., and I suggest you use them. But there is no one completely verified online space where everyone knows who everyone is, and as a parent you feel confident that your child is safe. We will use encrypted technology and a parent-only proof of ID registration to make sure there are 0 anonymous strangers. And because the internet is causing so many mental health issues, this same verified environment will be used to launch a fun, breathing and well-being app that will educate our kids in positive mental health and online safety. We need to continue to lobby the government around these issues and keep big tech away from our kids. And at the same time, as a society and as parents, we must decide how our kids should play and grow up online, not the people in Westminster, because they are simply out of touch with the needs of children in the real world. To do this, we are going to use the same secure platform we are using to verify the parents and children for the mental health apps to build a community of verified parents to make the important decisions that will shape the charity and our kids' online world. Our development partner is already working in the online security space, and we're lucky enough to have some ex-Scotland Yard people advising us. So we're in reasonable shape, but we still need marketing and finance folks to keep things moving. Please sign the petition to get the online bill changed. And if you can support us on Patreon, that would be great. You will find all the links on www.sks.fyi. Thank you.